realizing that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. After declining an $84 million extension from the Lakers in March, Schroder has agreed to play for the Celtics for the $5.9 million mid-level exception. The Boston Herald reports that Schroder is, quote, in a state of shock. I am too. Shannon, how surprised are you that it came to this for Dennis Schroder?
He overplayed, Skip. He overplayed the market, and he overplayed his ability. One or two people need to go. Either he needs to fire his agent or he needs to fire himself. But somebody's got to go. Now, this reminds you, Skip, you remember in 2017, Nerlens Noel, the Mavericks offered him 4 years, $70 million. He turned it down, except the qualifying offer of $4 million. He fired his agent, hired Rich Paul. Now, let me tell you what would have happened. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Rich Paul is Dennis Schroder's agent. It wouldn't have been Dennis Schroder turned down $84 million. Rich Paul turned down $84 million. You see how they did that, Skip Bayless? That's what they would have done. Dennis Schroder is that what he didn't realize, Skip, is that his best season was in OKC. He was career highs across the board. Points, field goal percentage, three-point percentage.
That is true.
Dennis Schroder is a career 13-point per game average, shoot 33% from the three. Guess what he shot from the three last year? That's what he shot. Guess what he shot from the field? 43%, which is his career average. But what he was doing was pocket watching everybody else to see what they got. 4 years, $84 million, guaranteed. Remember, he came to Skip. Now, he came off the bench. The past 2 years, played great. I'm a starter. I've done the coming off the bench thing. I'm a starter.
That's what he said when he got to L.A. Yep.
Now look at him. Now everybody talking about, well, maybe he didn't want to play with LeBron. Bull jive. He gagged this one. Skip, you hear the term fumbling the bag. He fumbled the suitcase. They lost a whole airplane full of baggage. As a matter of fact, they lost the airplane. This is, I've never seen anything like this, but I'm firing my agent. Maybe the agent say, Dennis, is a good deal. He says, I want to go out there. But Skip, here's the point. We know Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, Lonzo Ball, Mike Conley, Spencer Dinwiddie, Reggie Jackson. Had he had the playoff run Reggie Jackson had, he might have could have got some money. Reggie Jackson played himself because he played on the minimum. Reggie Jackson balled out in the playoffs. Reggie Jackson got, what, 2 years, 12, 13, $14 million?
He got the veterans, whatever that...
Mid-level. Right. Yeah. Maybe he could have got that.
Yep.
But you can't put on tape what you put on last year and thought somebody was going to pay you that. Skip, I feel bad for him. But let me tell you this. You're not going to make that up. I don't care what you do. You're not going to make that up. Because even though Nerlens Noel's got a good contract from the Knicks this year, Skip, he could have got that same contract this year while having $70 million already pocketed.
Yep. He
could have got another. He might get, but I don't believe he'll get a $100 million contract, Skip. How he going to be coming off the bench? And guess what? That's Jason Tatum. That's Jaylen Brown's team. So how you going to get opportunities to show that you're going to average 20? You're not going to average 20. I was reading reports they want him to come off the bench and back up Marcus Smart. Now, he might start, but he gagged this one, Skip. He gagged this one.
I cannot disagree, obviously, with your conclusion, because when you walk away from 4 years, $84 million, and you wind up with 1 year, $5.9, I can't defend that, obviously. But I do have some sympathy for him.
How? For what?
He was a victim of LeBron James.
Oh, my goodness.
He got LeBron. Well, he did, because he became the focal point of Shannon Sharp and Laker Nation. Okay, you're on, you got to perform. And the first thing he did wrong was he did not defer to LeBron. His whole body language, his demeanor, his whole approach was, I will not bow down to you. I'm going to be your equal on the floor. Not that he's a better player, but he's going to play an equal role in the offense. And it offended you from day one. Yeah. You could just see his body language was, I'm my own man. I'm not your man. I'm my own man. So I'm not going to genuflect in your presence. I'm not going to kiss your feet. I'm not going to play off you. I'm going to play with you. That was his attitude from day one. And there were nights when he was very good because he has electric quickness.
He does. He does.
There were nights. Okay, so he averaged 19 a game coming off the bench with Chris Paul, obviously, in Oklahoma City, and it fell to 15. It wasn't a dramatic fall, you know, but 19 down to 15, and his 4 rebounds stayed the same, and his assists actually went up with the Lakers from 4 in Oklahoma City to 6. So His line was 15, 4, and 6. But to your point, he shot the ball worse than he did in Oklahoma City when he was career across the board high. And yet he started, like, I think 2 games that year in Oklahoma City. He came off the bench and averaged 31 minutes. His minutes per game went up only to 32 minutes a game with the Lakers as a starter. He started 61 games for your team.
Right.
And yet he's in the crosshairs because if they fail, somebody has to pay for that. There has to be the reason that this team failed, and it's going to be him. It has to be Schroder because his numbers weren't quite what they were in Oklahoma City.
But his numbers were what they were for his career. If you look at his numbers, he's a 43% shooter. He's a 33% three-point shooter. But, Skip, here's the thing. From the jump, and I said this early on, he's playing for a contract. Everybody's seeing it. He's not trying to play to win games.
Yep.
He's trying to play to
he was in the last year.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
And everybody else saw that, too.
Okay, and remember, they didn't acquire him by signing him. They traded for him. It was Danny Green and Jalen McDaniels, who wound up in Minnesota. But it was basically Danny Green for Dennis Schroder.
Right.
And Danny Green was a significant loss for your basketball team. But where Schroder doesn't get enough credit for is on the defensive end, because you don't...
Ain't nobody paying for that.
Okay, well, he ranked 29th last year in defensive win shares, which was a career high. For the Lakers, he was 29th in the league, which is pretty good, because I think everybody agrees he's one of the better perimeter defenders in the league, right? He will get up in you. He will make you pay all night long. He will make it hard on you. He will irritate and bother you. It's just one of those where he's a small man. What do we give him? He's 6 feet. Is he like that little clipper who gets up in you and irritates you like a little bat? Yeah. Is he got some Pat Bev? It's sort of like that. But I think he's a little quicker than Pat Bev.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's a better offensive player than Pat.
He can bother you, and I thought he helped make but they went all the way through the regular season as the #1 statistical defense in pro basketball.
Right.
You don't think he contributed to that?
He did, Skip. They call him Dennis the Menace.
Yep.
But Skip, as you gauge the market early on, you see Chris Paul, 4 years, 120. You see Kyle Lowry with Kyle. You see Lonzo Ball. You see Mike Conley. You see Spencer Dinwiddie. You see Reggie Jackson. You see D. Rose. You see Patty Mills. You're like, hold on. Hey, what's going on, bro? You call what's going on?
Okay, but you know what happens around this league, because LeBron is the face of this league.
Oh, don't put it on LeBron.
Wait a second. I'm not putting it on him. I'm just saying, if you go to LeBron and you fail with LeBron, I know what the league says. They all sit back and say, you couldn't play with that man?
So
Am I right about that? That's what they say.
Let me ask you a question. You think he was worth 21 million a year? It
was almost 22-ish.
20. Right? It was 4 years, 84.
That's right. Okay. Okay, this is just me. I still think he was a better fit for the Lakers for the entire offense than Russell Westbrook will ultimately be. Is he the player Russ is as a solo act? Well, obviously, he's not even in the ballpark with him. But as a fit, I think in your heart of hearts, you would agree he's a better fit for the Lakers than Russ will be.
He probably was, Skip, but what he was a better fit, but he didn't understand his role.
Okay, because he's his own little man.
So now he's his own man in Boston.
Yep.
So you traded 15 million in sunshine 364 days a year to go into cold for 5.9 million.
I'm with you on that. That is very true. Even though I like Boston, but
I don't like the weather.
It's going to snow.
Yeah.
And it is not going to snow here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you ain't. And guess what? He gonna have to put that skateboard up come late September, October.
Yep.
He can skateboard year round out here.
Okay, so I thought his biggest failing in L.A. was not trying to ingratiate himself more with LeBron, because he was arm's length with LeBron right from the start, and LeBron did not like it. Look, LeBron has earned the right that you need to pay him respect.
No,
right?
no, I don't think it was that, Skip. I just think the thing is that early on, the Lakers saw that Dennis was more concerned about getting his money. Skip, remember, because the first offer, they offered him 17 million, 4 years, 17 million per. They went all the way to 21 per. But he talked about, well, I want to see what free agency is like. I want 100 million. Bruh. Everybody always talking about he bet on himself. Okay, these is one of the stories that betting on yourself goes wrong.
Okay.
These are the stories that they don't highlight. Bruh, take that 84 million. Now, if they skip, it's like, well, he didn't want to play with LeBron. He didn't want to play back up to Russ. They wouldn't have got Russ unless they do a sign and trade and package him for Russ. He and Russ was never going to be on the same team with LeBron.
No way. So in the end, you told me that if LeBron and AD had stayed healthy, you believe the Lakers would have won it all last year.
Yes.
What if Schroder had gotten to go along for that ride? What if he had played at least a small but significant part in a championship run?